Welcome to the show, and as you know, we're kind of wandering around the southwest, and I've got Wayne with a stick in his hand. Wayne, how you going?
People usually like me with a stick in my hand, but that's another show. But today we're down in Pemberton, and it's just fantastic. The view is great. We actually just finished walking the woods, and it looks great.
Yeah, if you got a few extra pounds, going downhill's pretty good. And actually, man, you're going to be doing some special stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually walking up the Dontre, and which tires you out because it's kind of hard. Yeah.
Everyone else climbs up it, but when you see him go up, yeah, it's almost like walking up, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was, and he's a very good climber. That's why he's here, still on the show.
Yeah, and I had a camera and a tripod and the whole works to go with it.
Super fit, athletic, like when I was a boy. Anyway, welcome to the show. As you know, I got Wayne and Action Man here. We're going to be showing you a bit about Pemberton. Hopefully you'll enjoy some of the sights down here. Something to keep in mind when you do go in the southwest, we're in an area that was kind of planted that Wayne will tell you a bit about, the 100-year forest a little later on. But keep in mind that the original inhabitants of the land, 40,000 years and 3 days, because I was, at the time.
Yeah.
Used to live down here and, of course, wander through all this bush and live. In mind, what I was getting about is the original inhabitants of the land used to live out here and, of course, live very well off the land. It's sad if too much gets destroyed, and we learned that there's something there that could have cured cancer. Who knows what might have been here, but
that's right.
It's fantastic down here.
Yeah, the secrets that the forests hold, people.
No one knows.
Nobody understands.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show. It's going to be around Pemberton area, and these guys are going to do things, and I'm going to go up the Gloucester tree, which is going to be a lot of fun.
You're going to actually go up the tree?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. Anyway, everyone, welcome to the show. The name of the show is Balls and All.
And now, when you're down in the Pemberton area, you can actually come down and see the 100-year forest. Now, this came up, it was the 100 years in 1975, which was our centennial year. Now, basically, this was planted in 1875, and we'll go into the history about this a little bit later. But make sure you come down. It's magnificent. All the trees are basically pretty much the same height, which is rare. Well, basically put, in 1917, the first curator of conservator of these forests, C.E. Lane Poole, had recorded that some of the things that led up to this great forest. As in 1875, the place was done by Mr. Giblets, who, planted some of these trees and got the actual carry tree growing in this area. And he predicted that in 40 years that there was little doubt that with proper, agricultural treatment, that it would reach, these trees would reach maturity at an early age. And the amazing thing about this forest, like I said before, basically all the trees are pretty much the same height, and it's rare anywhere in the world that you're going to get that. And so here was another brave Australian demonstrating that, even though the government felt at the time that this would not be possible, but that if he stuck to his game plan, he would get this forest going, and he did, and full credit to him. So as you can see, it's a magnificent forest, so make sure you come down here and see the 100-year forest when you come down. It's right in between Pemberton and Mangamont, and it's a great place down here, beautiful fresh air. It even makes me look good. Well, let's not get carried away.
Howdy everyone, I'm the Action Man. Now you might be wondering where I am. Now I'm actually standing on top of the diamond tree. Now the diamond tree is a large tree that it was made in 1937, between 1936 and 1937. Now what I mean by made was that this is, back in those days, it used to be a watchtower that people would stand up here and see if they could see bushfires. Now, because back in those days, they didn't actually have the technology that they do now. So this was one of the ways that they would sort of see for bushfires. So what would happen is they would ring up through radio or something and say, okay, I see a bushfire, and sort of put it out. Now, it's almost like the Gloucester tree. But the Gloucester tree is in Pemberton, and the Gloucester tree is quite a bit higher than this. But the scenery you'll see is amazing. So come up here. Now, it is about 20 metres high, so make sure that you are fit, because I'm quite fit. It took it out of me, seriously. Even Wayne chickened out. See, Wayne, next time, come on, you get to be up here as well. So if you're in Manjimup, come and see the Diamond Tree. It's a good experience and the view is just simply amazing.
G'day, here in Pemberton, of course, but we're at another place which is called Pemberley Farm, and David and Monica are the owners. David did the typical male thing and chickened out and put Monica on, but she's much better looking than David anyway. Hi Monica, how are you?
Good, thanks, not bad.
Tell us a bit about Pemberley.
This is our little part of Pemberton, and we've got vines, we've got dogs, we've got a holiday cottage, and we're here with our 4 children.
So you've diversified, because David, off camera, being the chicken that he is, told us, of course, you guys were originally spuds and cattle, and now you've gone into grapevines and the dogs, as you say. What kind of dogs do you breed here?
Labradors.
Labradors, great dogs, nice and friendly. And how long ago did you kind of get into the grapevines and everything?
It must be 7 years ago. Our baby was nearly 1, and now he's 7 and a bit, so.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And of course, you're living in a beautiful part of the world. Of course, the whole thing here is not only is it a farm, but you also have like bed and breakfast, is it, or chalets, or what do you have here as well?
We have one little cottage. It's a self-contained sort of luxury appointed cottage for quiet getaways. It's completely on its own, and
that's good.
People get to hide in the bush.
That's right, and what a great place to hide. And we see the tractors going in the background. It's a real working farm, and as you mentioned, you have the dogs and potatoes. Is that pretty much, and cattle are pretty much the mainstay here?
Yep, that's about it.
All right, now if someone...
plenty of time.
I bet it does. Now, with and not only that, but all the dog breeding. Now, the chalet, the self-contained chalet. If someone would like to find out a bit more about it, is there a number, or do you have a web page or anything like that?
The web page is www.pemberleyfarms.com.au.
Okay. And is there a phone number if they want to just ring up and find out about it?
It's 9776 1373.
There you go. So if you would like to come down, it's on the way to Pemberton. It's on the way out to the 100-year-old forest. You've seen Wayne go and have a bit of a wander around, and it's a beautiful area. So if you're down here, come in amongst the grapevines and the potatoes and the cows and the dogs and everything else, and have a bit of the southwest here. Thanks very much. King Trout, and I'm having a chat with Shelley and Egon, who manage and own the facility here. Hello, Shelley. How are you?
I'm well. Yourself?
Good, good. And Egon, how are you going?
Very good, thank you.
Now, tell us, first of all, Egon, how long you've been doing this, and actually what got you involved?
Just a bit of an adventure. We just came down here as a tourist, and we sort of fell in love with the property, and we decided to sell up in Perth, sell the business, and come down here to Pemberton. And there was a restaurant here already, which we sort of knew that we could make a good living from that. So we found ourselves a very good manager for the trout farm, to look after the trout. And here, 5.5 years later, we're still here and enjoying it.
Fantastic. Now, Shelley, tell us a bit about the kind of things you do here, because it's not only just fishing and Marion. You guys also have a fantastic restaurant, as we can see way off in the background there.
That's right. We have lots and lots of families come here and go fishing. We have fishermen from 5 years of age to really experienced fishermen come here.
That's a good way of putting it, really experienced. And something you just touched on a little bit there, but I'd like to reiterate, it's very much a family thing. People come, and I see some people actually come and just grab a cup of coffee and just come and sit down near the lake.
That's right. It's a beautiful place to come and sit and have a cup of coffee. We have the restaurant meals open all day, and if you're staying in one of the accommodation houses close by, we deliver meals at night, our famous king trout platter for 2.
Now, Egon, you were saying to me earlier that you've got about how many lakes around the place here?
We got 9 dams and 2 lakes, plus 3 earth ponds, which are only for Marion. Now, this main lake here, that's for fishing. What people catch, they actually have to keep and pay for. We also have another dam allocated for fly fishing only for the more professional people.
What's probably the big specialty here? I'll actually ask you, Shelley.
Well, trout and marron would have to be our specialty. That's we grow the marron and the trout here. We're the only private hatchery in the state for the trout, so we go right through from the egg stage right through to us presenting them to you on the plate in the restaurant. The restaurant does have alternative meals as well besides the trout and marron.
Fantastic. Now, and the marron season and trout season, is it like any time of the year?
It doesn't affect us because we're a farm on private property, so we're open all year round.
If someone would like to find out a bit more, it's not an accommodation, it's one of those places where you come down and you have a good time, a nice day trip. If you wanted to come down or come and stay a couple of days down in Pemberton or Northcliffe, and make sure you come do a bit of fishing. But how would people find out a bit more about it if they want to actually give you a call and find out some details?
Go to the tourist bureau. That's usually most people can find us in the tourist bureau.
Okay.
Or, well, they just rock up here and they see a big sign up there, King Trout, and come on in.
Okay, is there a phone number they can contact, or web page or anything like that, or at least a phone number?
97 352, or you can contact us on the web pages of the Pemberton Tourist Centre.
Fantastic. So come down and say good day to Egon and Shelley. Tell them you said you saw it on Balls and All, and have a bit of a fish, because it's just, and you have all the gear here too. So
Yes,
if you you know, on a small car and you don't want to bring all your fishing gear, it's all here.
We have all the gear here for you to hire at a very reasonable rate.
Good, good. So give them a call, come down, and if not, just stop and have a cup of coffee and have a look at the beautiful lakes. It's fantastic.
Thanks very much. Look forward to seeing everyone.
Okay, yeah, now we're down here next to the lake, got some young fellas fishing, and I see young Sean here. How you going, Sean?
Hey, pretty good, thanks.
Tell us a bit about how today's going so far.
Yeah, caught a couple.
And you
It's
got
going quite
one.
well.
You got one on the line right now. Pull it in. Let's have a bit of a look at him.
Yeah.
Now, you've been here before?
Yeah, once or twice.
Okay, let's have a look at this. This coming in. This is the rainbow trout. There it is there. Nice size. Just bring him up here. Here we go. Got a nice size rainbow trout there. Beautiful on the plate. And they'll actually cook it for you in the restaurant right here, or you can just take it home and do it the way you want. That's nice. Beauty. Now we got some other boys over here. G'day, what's your name?
Justin.
Justin, you had to think of that because you haven't called yourself for a while, have you? Now, how you going so far?
Oh, pretty good. I haven't caught any at the moment, but I'm trying.
Good, good. Oh, we got one over here. G'day, what's your name?
I'm Nick.
Nick, tell us, you got one right here. There you go, drag him in. Actually, there's a net here. Let's get into it. Rex Hunt, eat your heart out. Okay, here we got another one there. Once again, a nice rainbow trout. And that's Nick's catch. Now, if it's a little bit small, I got Egon over in the background there. Egon, if it's a little bit small, do you actually ask people to put them back, or?
Usually you've got nothing in there under 300 grams.
Okay, so you catch it. So that's nothing under 300 grams. You catch it. Obviously, you can take it home, or they'll, as I say, they'll fry it for you here, or cook it for you here in the restaurant. And I get the other fellow's name. What's your name?
Ashley.
Ashley, how you going, mate?
Bad, not bad.
Is pretty good fun?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Good
Great.
fun. And you
Yeah.
couldn't ask for a nicer day.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And what's your secret to not catching a fish?
No bait.
No, mate, that's how it's done. It's pretty good fun here. It's good for the kids, good for family, and you couldn't ask for a nicer spot. The view's fantastic. Welcome back, everybody, and I'm here with our good friend from Calm, Mr. Rod Neer, who's going to tell us a little bit about some of the sites as well when you're down here in the Pemberton, Northcliffe area. And we're here at Big Brook Dam. Hi, Rod, how are you?
Yeah, I'm great, Moose. Yeah.
Tell us a bit about Big Brook Dam. We see a bit of a sandy beach here and everything.
Well, it's pretty much the local swimming hole here in Pemberton, but it's a bit more than that as well. There's a walk trail that goes around the dam. That's about 3.5 k's. Magnificent walk, great for the prams and pushers. You can get around it in about an hour.
So it's actually paved, is it?
Yeah, it's a paved surface. It's all nice, good slopes, so it's easy to get around. In season, in summertime, you can go marroning here. There's lots of marron. There's trout in the dam as well. And there's also redfin perch, which people fish for. It's a beautiful way to cool off. People come down here. Someone come to walk walk their dog, and you can lay out on the grass here, and yeah, it's just a great place. All barbecues and picnic tables, everything around here, and it doesn't get crowded. I mean, it's one of those places you can come here just about any time, and it's just magnificent.
And something I noticed too, now years ago when I used to live down at Northcliffe, there was like I think one or two rangers. It looks like you guys are actually getting a lot more rangers there helping you. It's getting a lot busier there.
Yeah, well, I guess as more people are starting to discover this area, we've got a few more of us around, and yeah, we're here to, I guess, help people out and make sure that everyone looks after the environment at the same time. I come here with my kids all the time, and it's just terrific in the afternoons. There's no wind about. It's just beautiful, glassy on the water here. Kids can have a swim. You can get the sausages cooking ready for dinner.
Sounds good already.
Yeah, oh, it is a magic place.
Really do swimming.
Oh, no.
Canoeing, of course.
Yeah, and sailboarding. People do a bit of that. Anything non-motorised is allowed on the dam. I guess it's the other thing is it's our drinking water supply for Pemberton as well. So we can't put anything in there that we don't want to drink, basically.
That's for sure. That's for sure. All right, we're going to keep wandering around. Rod's going to hang around with us for a little bit and show us a few more sites. So, yeah, if you come down, ask him about how the best way to get to Big Brook Dam, and come down and spend a day here. It looks like a lot of fun, a real nice place.
Yeah, sure is, Moose.
Okay, now we've come a little bit further down the road here, and we're at one of the campsites. I just wanted to show you because we've shown there's a lot of accommodation around the place here in Pemberton and Northcliffe and all the area, but there's also places if you want to bring your tent. Someone way off in the background there is doing that. Rod, tell us a little bit about the campsite here.
Well, this is a Big Brook Arboretum, Moose, and this is just one of many bush camping sites you can use around Pemberton. This one doesn't have any fees. This is a fee-free area, so it's pretty nice, but some of them you do have to pay a camping fee. Pretty basic facilities here. You've got a toilet and, log fires you can have. We have drop firewood off every day, and your rubbish gets collected, so you get looked after fairly well. But it's a really nice place here. This is the Big Brook Arboretum, and it's like a tree garden. In the early days, the foresters who worked in Pemberton planted a whole lot of trees from all over the world into little plots just to see which sort grew well in the conditions around here. So you can have a wander around the Arboretum and check out trees from all over the world and from all over Australia, and there's some really beautiful trees, and the Karri Forest is obviously right on your doorstep as well. So Big Brook's just right next to you here, the stream that runs into that dam we were at just 5 minutes ago.
Let's talk about the main road we're actually running along. Something really interesting you mentioned, they're soon going to have a radio station that will play as you're driving along the Karri Road. I'll get you to talk about that as well, where you'll soon be able to tune in, and it'll have daily updates of what's going on, what to see, where you can stop. Like as you go along, you might be able to stop at the King Trout where we were, and it'll tell you where you can buy wine and all that along the way. And the name of that road is going to be the
Karri Forest Explorer, yeah, and it's a new drive trail. It leaves from Pemberton, and it's about 80 kilometres, and it links all the best places to see. So it's both the natural environment and all the tourist attractions, so all the built stuff, so the wineries and all those sorts of places like King Trout. And yeah, the Karri Forest Explorer Drive, I think there's about 6 radio stations that we'll have on it, and we won't be able to change them every day, but they'll have a commentary on there that'll tell you about what sort of environment you're in, some of the stories about the people who lived there and how they lived around this place, about the bush that you're in. So it'll be able to drive along, you tune your radio in, and yeah, tell you about what's a Karri tree and what's a jarrah and what you're going to see next, and where to plan ahead to stop and that sort of stuff.
That's fantastic. And just one other thing too, as we're driving along, I've seen a few little roads that go off, but there's like a blockade there saying you're not allowed to go. Do you want to explain that so people know what the reason behind that is?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you asked, Moose, because we're not just being nasty. It's not that we just want to stop people from getting to a place. There's usually, in fact, there's always a good reason for it. And one of those might be because of dieback.
Yeah.
Diebacks are a root rot fungus that gets into the roots of the plants, and basically it cuts the water supply off, and they die from drought. basically is what happens to them. And it came in on fruit trees early last century into Western Australia, and unfortunately our environment, it just runs rampant, and it takes out a lot of the beautiful Banksias that people will know, and many hundreds of other native species are affected. And there's really no cure for it. It's not something that we can apply a blanket treatment
to.
To.
And just inject the tree or anything.
Well, on an individual basis you can, Moose, yeah. No, and interestingly that's actually what you do.
All right.
But in terms of a broad scale treatment, it's very, very difficult to do. So on a whole of environment approach, it's just about impossible to stop. But what we do try and do is stop it spreading. And one of the ways that people do spread it is on the tyres of their vehicles. So sometimes where an area hasn't been infected, we try and stop vehicles going into those areas and carrying the fungus in there and affecting more of the bush.
Great. So now you know when you're driving by and see those roads. All right, we're going to keep wandering along the Kerry
Forest Explorer.
Kerry Forest Explorer. So we're going to be traveling along that. Just driving along the road here, Rod, we see something you see a little bit in Swan Valley, maybe up in Chittering, and we see on the side of the road a little bit of a veggie stall.
Yeah, well, I guess people think of Pemberton and think of big trees, Moose, but it's also the vegetable bowl of the southwest as well, and it's great. You can just pull up, buy your veggies, take them home, and certainly good value, and they're always fresh, you know that.
Fresh. We see them just picking it right there, and it's right here. We've also come through where we've seen spuds, we've seen some avocados, lots of vines, and of course we see the gang right just off behind us there, actually picking some collies. Now you're going to grab something here.
I need something to take home for dinner, Moose, so
All
I think
right.
I probably better get it while I'm here.
Okay, so you're going to grab yourself a broccoli, a cabbage, and a cauliflower, absolutely fresh, and that's going to cost you $2. Put it in the honor box. Always look after them, they look after us. Now, Rod, where are we at now, and what's this all about?
Okay, this is Marion North tree behind us that we can see here, and it's got that distinctive burl about halfway up, and it's named after Marion North, obviously, who trekked through here in the 1880s, and she is an English woman who travelled all over the world and painted the places that she visited. And Charles Darwin, famous Charles Darwin, just told her that this would be
They actually named a city after him, didn't they?
yeah, I think they did. That Charles, in between developing the theory of natural selection, told Marion that it would be a good place to come out and visit in Australia. She'd find lots of incredible plants and animals that she could draw, and the environment, the landscape was what she liked, and so she came through here in 1880. Now that was quite a trek. In 1880 there were very few people living around Pemberton, and she came through from Vass, which is now Busselton, through along the Vass Highway, which was then just an old track. Her wagon fell in two in a couple of times, so she had quite a journey to get here, and she went to stay with the Brockmans, who were the people who lived here, and she stayed with them for a week or so. And on the way she passed this tree, and she painted it, and now her painting is in the Marion North Gallery, which is at Kew Gardens in London, so or in England. So yeah, that's the Marion North tree, and as I say, quite an intrepid traveller, and went to all sorts of places all over the world, which were very remote in those days. There's generally every 5-10 years or so we have a pretty big fire through the forest. I think in 1937 and then again in 47 down this neck of the woods we had some really big fires, sort of Mangham up to Walpole, that sort of scale of fire. So some quite intense and very large scale fires.
And just one other thing too, we see the Heartbreak Trail back there. You want to just give a quick explanation of that?
Yeah, well, Heartbreak Trail, that again is on that Kerry Forest Explorer drive we talked about earlier, and the name comes from just how heartbreaking it was for the people to cut that trail, because it goes down through very steep country into the Warren River Valley and then follows the river for a way and then comes back out again.
Fantastic. All right, we're going to keep moseying along and show you a little bit more around Pemberton. Okay, Rod, here we are at the Bicentennial Tree. Tell us a bit about it.
Okay, the Bicentennial Tree was set up obviously in 1988, the bicentennial year, and it was set up so we had a working example of what a fire lookout tree was like that was going to last for a long time. So this is a newly pegged tree, if you like, and it's all set up and ready to be used as a fire lookout, and it has been used occasionally, not very often, and it's open for people to come along and climb and experience what it's like to sit up in the top of a carry tree.
Closer to heaven on top of one of the beautiful trees.
Yeah, well, this one's the tallest one. It's about, well, probably over 70 metres right to the top cabin, so you're perched fairly high up there. And this one's a little bit different to the early fire lookouts in that the cabin's actually built into the canopy of the tree. So if you look at, say, the diamond tree or the Gloucester tree, which is pretty famous in Pemberton, you'll see that all of the branches were originally taken off the tree, and so it was like a matchstick with a little cabin perched on the top.
Yeah.
So of course we don't want to do that sort of thing to trees anymore, so we built this into the crown of the tree.
And quite handy, you get a couple little rest stops along the way, because I've just climbed it and come down, and I use the rest stop quite a bit. And if you believe that, I can tell you I'll tell you tomorrow's lotto numbers. You never know. Now, have you've been up there?
Yeah, it's quite a climb. The stop there we call the chicken stop. You might want to edit this bit out, Moose, but we reckon that each tree has a different sphincter factor, because that's how tight you have to hold it, and this one's about a 9.5.
9.5. Now, actually, when you're up there and it's a bit windy, of course, the tree sways as well too, so you're feeling the whole lot.
Yeah, you sure you need your sea legs, and probably Action Man, when he went up the diamond tree, will tell you that while you're up the top there, you really need to sort of be tuned in and have those sea legs working pretty well.
I reckon he should be the next Spider-Man, the way he went up that tree. Now, who is Dave Evans? Now, we know Rod Evans. We always talk about him on our show here. Who is Dave Evans?
Okay, Dave is a character from around this neck of the woods. He was a local member for this area for a good many years, and he's written lots and lots of books on the local history of the area, and one in particular which was on the local climbing trees. And there were many trees that were pegged like this right throughout the Karri Forest to detect fires, and Dave collected up all the stories about them and wrote a book about it. And for all his service to the community and to this area, he was honoured by this tree being named after him.
Fantastic. Now, he, in some of his books, would have told us where the name Pemberton came from.
Well, he sure did, actually, one of the earlier ones that he was part of. And it was named after a guy by the name of Pemberton Walcott. So his first name was Pemberton.
First name, yeah.
Yeah, his first name was Pemberton, and he came out here from the UK, and he came down to this area to breed horses. Now, he didn't actually even stay that long, so Pemberton sort of, his farming business didn't do too well, and he shot through after a few years, and he ended up, I think he was a harbour inspector up in the northwest, and I think up there they've got the Walcott Inlet,
okay,
and that was named after him as well. So same guy, he's left Pemberton down here and Walcott up there.
Now, when people come here, once again, you guys have great facilities. We see the toilets, and there's also a lot of covered areas. So if you do come in the winter time, you know, it's a great ride, and it's a great view. And a few other things, like, of course, we went to King Trout. That's just down the road from here. What other kind of things are around this area?
Okay, well, again, I keep saying we're on that Karri Forest Explorer Drive, but if you follow that, you're going to pick up all the main attractions. And as we go back into town, we'll go past the Cascades, which is a really nice place. We've just sort of skirted by Beedelup Falls, which is a great place to visit. We've crossed over the Bilberman track about 3 or 4 times on our travels, and you can pick up bits and pieces of that all around the place. And I think tomorrow you're heading off. You're going to go down to Northcliffe. Yeah. So you can look at the Dontre National Park is what a lot of people come here for. It's really wild. It's mostly 4-wheel drive, but there's 130 kilometres of coastline, which is just fantastic. You need to know what you're doing in your 4-wheel drive, and if you need advice, we can help with that. But
so get in touch with the local rangers, COM, and or tourist information, and they're always willing to help.
So, Moose, when are you going to duck up the tree?
Well, I think the tree has a bit of a weight limit, and also too, if our cameraman can show that up there, it looks like the lift's got stuck. So I think I'll give it a miss.
Yeah, well, I reckon you could do it though, Moose, as long as I'm coming down behind you.
Yeah, you definitely want to be down behind me on that one. I always thought, it would be good to do as a flying fox or something.
Well, they are going to have a lift, they reckon, at the Diamond Tree, next to the
really?
tree. There's a plan to build a tourist attraction there so that people who don't want to climb or can't climb the tree can go up into the lift and get the same experience.
Oh, that's fantastic. Fantastic. All right, let's go have a look at the Cascades.
Okay, let's do it.
That action man's a pussy. He had to go up the ladder. I'm climbing it the way they used to do in the old days. This is the hard stuff. This is how they really did it. Is that it? Ah, good. Even that was hard. Now, Rod, here we are at the Cascades. Tell us a little bit about them.
Okay, well, this is the Lefroy Brook. It's one of the many streams that flows through the Karri Forest near Pemberton, and they all flow out into the Warren River. It's only a couple of k's out of town, and actually on the Bibbulmun track again. It's again part of our Karri Forest Explorer drive, and you can get the tram which goes out of Pemberton, and that stops here as well for a bit of a look around. Good, good. We hope to catch up with him. Now, the Karri Forest Explorer Trail, is that what it's called? That's right. That's the drive trail that goes all the way around Pemberton. Don't forget too, that'll be, like I mentioned earlier, on radio, where you can get all the bits and pieces. It'll tell you things as you go, and it's about 80 kilometres, did you say? Yeah, that's right. And it links up all the good things to see around Pemberton. So if you come down here to stay, to camp or whatever, you can pick up a brochure and just get on and off the trail wherever you want to. Okay, now, first of all, we want to thank you for being our tour guide today. It's been great. Now, people out there saying, you know, we've always thought about when holidays come, let's go to Bali or Singapore. Forget all that. Come to West Australia. And now tell us a bit about if someone wants to find out a bit more information about here, a webpage or something. Yeah, well, they could either call the Pemberton Tourist Centre. They're 9776 1133. If they want to call the Calm office and talk to myself or one of the other rangers, that's 9776 1207. And the Calm website, that's www.calm.wa.gov.au. And that's our nature-based website, and you can find out all about West Australia's national parks and forests and get all sorts of contact details there. Fantastic. So, yeah, come down here and have a look. And if you see Rod when you're down here, make sure you say g'day to him anyway. Thanks, Rod, very much for all that. No worries, Moose. I've had fun, and good on you. We're at the Cascades here. We heard a bit of rumble in the background, and it wasn't me, and it wasn't Rod, our host, who's been running us around. It was actually the tram you see behind me, and I'm having a chat with a guy who's driving it up and down the place here. I'm talking to Tony Sorokin. Hi, Tony. How are you?
How do you do?
Tell us a bit about the tram here.
Well, the tram service has been operating for some 15 years, and we introduced the people to, obviously, the West Australian forest. We introduced them to the various species of trees, animals, and also the wildlife, particularly the life in the river, the fish, the Marron.
That's the Cascades. As we're coming along, you stop at the Cascades. What other kind of stops do you make?
We go down to the Warren River, and we cross the Warren River Bridge, and we stop there for 15 minutes. We introduced him to the Karri Forest down there, and the very big trees.
And any other stops along the way? Because you're actually commentary, you hear that voice, by the way. You might be hearing a bit more on 31 soon. But you actually commentate as you go along and tell people?
We do, yes. We tell them all about the different species of trees, the timber industry, introduce them to clearfell foresting, as well as show them a forest that was logged in the early days and the modern days or the modern principles of logging nowadays. All that's included in the commentary, yeah.
All right, now where do people get on, what time and all that kind of stuff, and roughly how long does it go for?
Well, there's a 10:45 service and a 2 o'clock service. The tours run for an hour and 3/4, sometimes going to the 2 hours. They get on the train or the tram at Pemberton, and we also we go down to the Warren River and they return back to the Pemberton station.
And on weekends, I believe you also have a steam engine, is that right? And you go to Northcliffe?
Yep. The steam engine runs north of Pemberton on the heavy gauge track. We can't use it on this rail because it's a light gauge rail. It's much too heavy. The locomotive is much too heavy to be operated in this part of the world on this track. That runs on weekends and on school holidays during the winter season only. We don't operate it during the summer months because of the fire ban. And then the Northcliffe service runs every third weekend of the month.
Fantastic. Now, do you know the number if somebody wants to find out about it, or is it just a case of...
Just ring the Pemberton tramways. they have all the information there.
Fantastic. Thanks for talking to us, Tony.
Thank you.
Have a good journey down. He's got a crowd of people. He's going to talk to them a little bit about the Cascades, and we're about to go to a break, and hopefully we'll pop up down in Northcliffe and show you a bit down there. While we've been staying down here in Pemberton, we've been really fortunate to stay at the school camp, and I'm having a chat with Mark Hudson, who's kind of like the principal, organizer, whatever, of the camp here, because it's not just a bit of a holiday camp, it's actually something that when students come, they actually get involved in doing something. How are you, Mark?
Very well, thanks, Moose. Good.
Tell us a bit about what the whole camp, the whole idea behind it.
This is actually Education Department. We have students come from all over West Australia. They stay here often for a Monday to a Friday. Like currently we have Margaret River Senior High School in, the Year 11 expedition, and they're staying for the week. They're preparing their food, packing all the gear, and then they're going out for the bush for 3 days. So they'll be self-sufficient. It's part of their course, they're part of their curriculum, but they're using us as a base, and we're using the Karri Forest around Pemberton.
Well, we've been traveling around the area, and I know that there's plenty of people with like cows and pigs and sheep, so they won't starve us to come around if they have to live off the wildlife.
No, they won't starve. No, they'll live well. They'll live well. But we look after the kids. We have cooks on site who cook lots of food, yummy tucker and.
Oh, okay, so there's not real bush tucker. They're actually being taken care of while they're there.
No, they're having proper food. I mean, if they want to do bush tucker, they could. But no, we have proper meals, all home cooked, and the ladies look after them. Then we also have lots of other students come down. Primary school, they'll come in Monday to Friday. We'll do lots of different activities, so bushwalking, mountain biking. We'll do cooperation activities. So based around that community living. So the idea is that they're living in dorms, and they share and do different jobs and go out to the forest.
Now, you have all different type of more or less courses, or I don't know what curriculum while they're here. You have students, as you say, going off in the bush, but there's other things you do. I've seen a lot of the pictures around the place. What other kind of things do they get up to?
Particularly at the beginning, we have a lot of students who come in to do student leadership training. So we actually train the kids to be leaders within their school, and they do lots of activities like public speaking. They do cooperation, working with each other, communication activities, and that way they build up their skills, so when they go back to the school that they can actually become good, strong leaders within their community. And so we focus using different activities, so rafting, mountain biking, but they've actually got to work as a team to actually achieve their outcome, finish their job.
What areas do they come from?
We service particularly lots of kids who come from the wheat belt, so those small little places like Cascades, Munganup, Corder, those small towns that are out in the wheat belt, and they obviously come down to see the Karri Forest. And then we also have, that's from Esperance right through Southern Cross to Geraldton, and then lots of Perth schools as well. About 65% country, 35 to 40% city, so quite a range.
Okay, now if someone out there, because this is to community groups as well as to schools and all that, so if people would say, oh, you know, I'd like to, or, you know, we need to do something in this area or whatever, or they want to find out more about what activities they can get involved in, is there a web page and a contact number they can get in touch with you?
Certainly, we're listed under schools in the Education Department, but 97761 or www.pembertoncampschool.com.
All one word?
All one word. All lowercase.
Now, obviously there's a lot of people who help you along the way. Is there anybody like, I don't know, is there anyone who sponsors you or helps you out, or is it really just Education Department, or what happens there?
We're solely Education Department. No, we're not sponsored by anyone. We have there's 7 camp schools throughout West Australia, so we're spread across the area, and we look after kids, and we have about 1,500 to 2,000 kids a year coming here, and then across the state there's obviously kids going everywhere that go to the different camp schools, and so the Education Department has these to look after curriculum outside the classroom.
Fantastic. Thanks for looking after us while we've been here. It's fantastic. Facilities are fantastic, and of course so is the people that are all involved here. Thanks, Mark, very much.
Thanks, Moose. Pleasure to have you.
Now, another wonderful place to stay if you come down here to Pemberton is at Eucalyptus House, a beautiful place, walking distance to the heart of the town. It's only just right next to it. And I'm talking to Dale Ford. Hi Dale, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
It looks like the rain's come in on us.
It certainly has, and you've had a lovely weather so far, just
Fantastic.
today? Yeah, okay.
All right, let's go in and have a look at Eucalyptus House. Here we are, Dale, inside wonderful Eucalyptus House. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's a rammed earth house, and as you can see, it's got some lovely woodwork throughout it, so it has a lovely natural kind of feel to it. It's a large house, so it can sleep up to 10 people. We have 2 living areas and 2 bathrooms, very comfortable.
And I noticed lots of, I'm just interrupting there, I know. I noticed lots of window space where you got it's like framing such a beautiful forest just right out in front of us.
It is, and there's beautiful windows here, but upstairs you'll see that they carry on into the other living area and also the main bedroom, and all overlooking the Karri Forest. Lots of the woodwork in here has been handmade, and as you go around you'll see like the beds upstairs are the same. A lot of it made out of jarrah wood and some of it out of blackbutt and out of Marion.
Good. I believe that Mark had a bit of a hand in some of the timber work.
He did. He's getting much better at it now, and he's doing some great things.
Good. Fantastic. Now, if somebody wants to find out a bit more about Eucalyptus House, is there a phone number or a web page?
There is. The web page is eucalyptushouse.com.au, or you can phone us on 977 60 777, or else you can contact us through the Tourist Bureau.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for showing us around. And one of those places, like I say, if you're coming down, there's lots of different bed and breakfast and the hotel and everything else. But you want a really nice place to stay, give them a call here at Eucalyptus House. G'day everyone, we're here in Northcliffe, and a nice quiet town, and you want to get away from the hustle and the bustle, you come down to Pemberton. We've been showing you all about that. Another 32 Ks, 33 Ks, whatever it may be, down the road and you get to Northcliffe. And to tell us a bit about Northcliffe, I'm talking to Shashi, who's the manager here at the Tourist Information Bureau. Hi Shashi, how are you?
Hello, how are you? Welcome to Northcliffe.
Thanks, I've been here many times before. I used to live here when I was a boy. And tell us what's going on here at Northcliffe. What can people do when they come down for a visit?
Certainly. Northcliffe offers a wide range of activities for visitors. There's a lot of different forests that you can actually go exploring, walking, mountain biking. We're pretty big on mountain biking here. Northcliffe has 4 permanent tracks here, and every year, annually, we host 2 mountain bike races.
This is around Easter, so earmark it if you want to get away and you're into mountain bike riding.
And that's called the annual Karri Cup, so it's a big thing here in Northcliffe, and it gives a lot of people a lot of pleasure, a lot of fun, and provides great exposure for Northcliffe, and as well as keeping people fit.
Oh, yeah. You see, I rode my bike here, for sure.
Yeah, but apart from that, it's like Northcliffe has walking trails, so you can, just behind the tourist centre is the Northcliffe Forest Park, and that has 4 different trails. So it starts off from 400 metres to 3.5 kilometres. So those
they don't have any that are like 4 metres or anything for blokes like me, do they?
Yes, and the forest park also features the hollow butt tree, which is the famous Karri tree in Northcliffe.
There's a lot of lines I can use on that one, but I'm going to leave it alone.
And the twin Karris, which is actually my favourite, it's quite a feature, and that's in the forest park. Apart from that, Windy Harbour is not very far from here, so only 20 minutes drive down that way, and visitors along the way can climb Mount Tulip, which is a 188 metres high big granite outcrop rock. The beauty is it's just off the road, and it's Bitumen Road all the way. So when you go into the coast, you've got Mount Tulip and you pull in, and there's a walking trail that will take you to the top of the summit. It's approximately 1.5 kilometres up to the top, and when you get up to the top, you get a fantastic view of the Dendricasto National Park, the coastal areas, the Meerup sand dunes, and it's just all natural, It's a beautiful spot, beautiful attraction, good place if you're stressed. It's really nice to go up there and you feel really great afterwards.
It really is beautiful down here. A lot of nice nature trails. The Bibbleman track goes through here as well, and it's just fantastic. There's a place called Moon's Crossing, which is wonderful outing for families and whatever. It's just lovely. Now, someone wants to know a bit more about it, they can obviously go to the tourist information webpage, but is there a number they can call if they want to ring up and chat with Shashi?
Certainly can. They can contact us at the Northcliffe Tourist Centre. Do you want my phone number?
Yes, please.
97767
It's not often I get women ask me that. Do you want my phone number? Do it again.
97767 or you can check out our websites, which is northcliffe.org.au or southernforest.com.au, and you can get all the information on the websites. But I also wanted to state a little bit about the Point Dontre. CALM has actually been working on this project for a number of years now, and hopefully it'll be coming to an end soon. And they have spent quite a lot of money developing this site, which is when you get down to the coast to Windy Harbour, and just before Windy Harbour you turn right to go down to Salmon Beach, and it's about 3 k's into Salmon Beach, and then up to
where the lighthouse.
That's right, up to the Point Dontre. And the beauty is it's 2-wheel drive. It's catered for caravans and coaches, and along the drive you can see the rugged coastlines, which is accessible by conventional vehicles.
Fantastic.
And surrounded by the Dontre National Parks, and also you can walk down onto a viewing platform which gives you a fantastic view of the coastal area, and I absolutely love it because it just opens up the Dontre area down there in Northcliffe. Yes,
Fantastic.
So we're pretty excited about that project that's happening down there.
That's good.
As well, yes.
Let's do the dancing we're excited about. So yeah, come down. It's a great place, and we hope to try to get down to Windy Harbour. And when we're there, I think we're going to show you why it's named what it's named. Thanks for talking to us, Shashi.
Okay. I also thank you very much. I also like to say that there is a wide range of accommodation available in Northcliffe. Visitors can choose from fully self-contained chalets, cabins, 2 motel type units, hotel, cabin parks, bed and breakfast. So there's wide range available for everyone.
It sure is, and we're going to talk to Yvonne, who's running hidden there. She actually runs a place called Gilvonne's. We'll catch up with them a little bit later and show you a bit about that. Thanks, Shashi.
Thank you very much.
Now, one of the nice places to stay when you come down here, there's lots of bed and breakfast, there's the hotel, whatever, but one of the really nice places to stay here in Northcliffe is a farmstay, and I'm talking to Yvonne from Gilvonne's. Hi, Yvonne, how are you?
Hi, how you going?
Tell us a bit about the farmstay.
Well, I decided to do it about 2 years ago after the family had left and got married, and I was a widow, and I had 2 spare bedrooms, so I thought it'd be nice to have people coming in and get to know around the world people, which I've had in.
Now, with you mentioned they're from all over the world. Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned too earlier that it's actually not a bed and breakfast; it's a farm stay. And the difference mainly?
It is bed and breakfast on a farm. You stay in a hotel or a motel; it's different than farm stay. So a farm stay is a bed and a breakfast.
So if you've got the little kiddies and that, they can come and watch.
I love having family. It was the whole idea to set it up was for families to come, because there's a lot of children that wouldn't know a cow if they saw one. And I have had families here, and it's been very good for the children.
Now, you've got like 2 different rooms, one with a big double bed, another one with 2 single beds. So when people come, is it mainly kind of come, stay and go, or what's the main idea?
I have had them stay 2-3 days. I can take a family of 2 adults and 3 children. I can put up 2 folded beds if need be. But up until now, I just usually have a family with 3 children.
Fantastic. And the phone number here?
08 9776 7022.
There you go. So if you want a really nice place to stay, come and see one with my buddy here, Yvonne, and she'll look after you. Thanks, Yvonne.
Thank you very much. Much obliged.
Well, everybody, we've made it here to Windy Harbour. I don't know why they call it that. I can't work it out myself. Way off in the background there, you might have seen some of the houses at the Windy Harbour, and we're up on the place where they put in our lighthouse. Now, I was told years ago they used to have a lighthouse down there, but too many ships got wrecked, so they thought maybe we better move it. So they put a new one up here. It's fantastic. If you get the chance, come down, wear something warm, because I tell you, it's a bit windy, a bit breezy, and that's the way it is. But I hope you've enjoyed the show. We've enjoyed showing you this, and we're going to try to do more as we get the opportunity about Western Australia. Remember, next time you're thinking about traveling to Bali, Singapore, whatever, think a bit about maybe doing it as a family here in Western Australia. It's a great place to come down here. I want to say a big hello to Shelma, Frank, and Shelma's friend Julie. Met them a couple of days ago. They said they always watch the show, so a big g'day there. And hope you've enjoyed it all. We'll be back to everything going crazy and normal again next week, Monday night, 9 o'clock, repeated Saturday at 4. And hopefully we won't get blown away from here. So everyone, thanks for watching. The name of the show is Balls and All. Whatever you do, do it balls and all. We'll catch you next week.
Balls and All would like to thank the following.